This is the Jaecoo 5, and it's a bit like an Omega Swatch watch because it looks like a premium product, but it doesn't have a premium price. Yes, that looks like a Range Rover, but it's a fraction of the cost. Now in this video, I'm going to talk you around this car. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know, talk you around the exterior design. This is really bad. Show you the interior. Blow it on me, no blow it on you. Try its tech.
Baby, you're not that kind.
I'm going to take it for a drive and put it through a series of tests. Wasn't expecting that. And I'll reveal some good things about it. Wow, that is so good. And some bad things about it. And at the end, I'll give you my verdict. I'll also show you a used luxury car that I found through carwow, which you can have for the same money as this Jaecoo 5. Anyway, I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching carwow. We need to put the Jaecoo 5 into context by talking about its price first of all. So it starts from just £24,500. Now this is the range topping luxury version with the electric motor. It's the most expensive one you can get. It's £30,500. There is only one option you can fit to this car, and it's the paint. Normally they just come in white. If you want a different colour, it's an extra 500 quid, and that's it. Comes fully loaded. And do you know what? From the front, it looks more expensive than £30,500, doesn't it? It looks, I was going to say, it looks like a Range Rover Velar, sort of. In fact, as we walk around it, you'll see that it's kind of different bits of Range Rover. Here at the front, being the electric version, you don't have a grille like you do on the internal combustion engine car, but it looks smart. It really does. And do you know what? Looks are a key selling point for any new car, and I think they've got it right with this. Now, down the side, alloy wheels, they're all 18 inches. There's no options. And from the side, it's just pure Range Rover Evoque, isn't it? Apart from this bit, maybe a bit more Range Rover Sport. And then when we come to the back, then it's the Range Rover Evoque again. If I was Jaguar Land Rover, I'd be bloody livid. But they're a little bit distracted right now with some other issues. Another thing that they've clearly copied from Land Rover is this, the windscreen wiper for the back window, which is hidden up there. Actually, let's just put it on. There we go, look, got some music playing as well. Is that the stereo? Is that the welcome music for the car? The car has welcome music. Oh my goodness, I've just noticed this is really bad. Can you see the paint is mismatched? That's way lighter than that. Oh dear, that is not quite so Range Rover, is it?
You don't expect to see that sort of problem on a brand new car. And there's something else about this Jaecoo that surprised me, this time on the inside.
This car's interior feels much more expensive than the actual cost of the car. I really do think that if you buy this, you're going to be like, whoa, this is good value for money. Because first of all, the design, it's minimalistic, it looks good, it sort of has, once again, a Range Rover vibe. It's got good tech in it as well, I'll get into that in a moment. But generally, the material quality, especially higher up, is really nice. This being the top spec car means you get like leatherette on the seats and stuff. That feels really good. And it's only really when you start to go lower down the cabin that things feel a bit cheap and scratchy, but no worse than like a BMW or an Audi these days. And then there's other things that you touch which just feel much more expensive than the similar thing in a BMW. It's like these switches. So this is the gear select lever, that feels nice. So too does the indicators, like that. I'm actually very, very impressed. So let's talk about the tech, because the Chinese do good tech. Now yes, I know that there's no physical buttons for the climate control, but the menu is quite easy to access and to operate. You can also use voice commands as well. The actual car menus themselves, very easy to go through. They're nicely laid out. You've got some quick controls there. You can look at all your charging stuff. You've got your vehicle settings, and there's so many different things that you can actually set and like configure on this car. It's really, really quite good. And then you've got all your driver assistance, so you can go into things such as like your speed limit assist, so you turn all that stuff off if it annoys you. You need to do this before you drive, like lane departure warning, you want to be turning that off before you're driving. So it's all in one simple menu. And then you find out that, look, I've got stuff like door opening warning, I've got blind spot detection, I've got rear collision warning, all included in this car. This being the range topper, you also get ambient lighting, and there's all these different colours to choose from. I mean, there is just so much. And the infotainment system, it's bright, it's zippy. If we go into the satellite navigation on it, nav, I mean, don't let me down by being slow to load. What are you doing? What is this because it's an early car? Anyway, oh, your vehicle has not activated the SIM card. Who cares? Because what are you going to do? You're going to connect your phone and does it wirelessly. Phone and go to Device Manager, Android Auto. Let's go on to Android Auto. Loads up dead quick. Look at that. Look how zippy that is. Wow, that is so good. Really impressed with that. And I like the fact that it's portrait rather than landscape, because when you're being routed you can see further up the road ahead of you. Here on the digital driver's display, it's not particularly big, but it's got all the information you need, and you can just cycle through some different menus there if you want. The only thing that's lacking is a heads-up display. They've got so much kit on this car that I'm surprised they didn't fit one of those as well, but really at this price point you probably wouldn't expect it. Speaking of which, this being the range topper has some kit on it that you don't get on the entry-level car, namely the panoramic glass roof. Normally on other cars that costs like an extra like £1,000 to £1,500. Here it's included in the top spec car. It also gets a heated steering wheel, it gets electrically operated seats, and they're heated and ventilated. You don't get those on the entry level car. You also don't get LED headlamps on the entry level car. That's almost reason enough alone if you're someone like me that's, you know, getting older and their eyesight at night isn't so good. You're going to want this top spec car. Let me talk you through the practicality. So cubby space there, we've got a couple of cup holders there, perfect for holding your cans in place. Wireless charging there. Once again, wireless charging is only available on the top spec car, otherwise you've just got this space for storing your mobile phone. Down here there's some more storage, and there's some more storage there, and we've got USB and USB-C there, and a 12 volt, so pretty much every connection you could ever want. And then down here you have large door bins, can take a huge bottle, and an average size glove box. Yeah, it's all good. Vanity mirror, decent size, lighting, nice rear view mirror, like frameless as well, frameless. I am very, very impressed with the interior of this car. Here in the back, I'm slightly undecided. So knee room is pretty good, headroom is good. The seat bases are nice and deep, so they should be comfortable. The problem is that the seat is quite close to the floor because you've got the battery pack underneath, and as a result, there's not much under thigh support. And if the person in front of you has their seat in a low position, like I like to drive, you feel cramped in the footwell. Now I've actually raised this passenger seat up, so if I move across like this, I'm now comfy. Now, you don't actually have this problem though in the Kia EV3, and if you want to see my full in-depth video review of that car to see how in some ways it's better than this Jaecoo, then click on the pop-out banner up there or scan the QR code on screen now, or follow the link in the description of this video. There is a way that this car is slightly better than the Kia though, and I'm going to need my carwow chums to jump in here with me. So the middle seat in this car is actually pretty decent, and I don't know, shoulder rooms, you know, we wouldn't choose to do this.
No, but it's okay.
But we're not hating it, are we?
Not hating
No, we're not hating it. Anyway, let's get on with the review. Go on, hop, okay, come on, there we go. Other features here in the rear. This is not good. There's an air vent, there's just one. So you're going to be fighting. Blow it on me! No, blow it on you! Anyway, and then there's one USB, an old-fashioned USB to fight over there. Got some pockets on the backs of the seats, both seat backs. Big door bins. Couple of cup holders that they are exposed, so that's not perfect. However, look, rear windows go all the way down. They go all the way down pretty much, all right? Oh, and look, easy access Isofix anchor seats. I'd like to demonstrate putting a child seat in there, but you know, as a father who has tested many cars, I can tell that it's going to be easy to fit even a bulky rear facing seat into this car. I'm telling you now, I can just sense it.
But how good is the Jaecoo at carrying more than just passengers?
I forgot to show you one thing earlier, and it's another way this car is like a Range Rover. Look, a clamshell bonnet. We have a small storage area there. We've got the charging cables. Actually, I say small, for a front boot it's not too bad. Let's check out the big boot at the back though. This Jaecoo's boot capacity is a respectable 480 litres. However, if you want a bigger boot than that, maybe check out the Renault Scenic. It's got like almost 10% bigger boot, and if you want to actually watch my review of that car, click on the pop-out banner up there or scan the QR code on screen now, or follow the link in the description of this video. You can actually alter the height this opens using the screen, because you can do everything through that screen. Let me just remove the parcel shelf for now. No load lip to lift things over, because you have an adjustable boot floor which you can lower down if you need to carry some bigger things. Now underneath there you might be thinking, oh classic, no spare wheel, sign of the times. However, while this car may not have one, it's because it's a press vehicle. Customer cars will have a space saver spare wheel as standard, so you don't have to mess around with like the kind of annoying like tyre sealing gloopy stuff. Shall we see if this parcel shelf will fit under there? Go on, you can do it, Jaecoo. Come on, Jaecoo. Don't make me chuck your parcel shelf into the bushes. Is it going to get thrown? I haven't done this for a while. No. No. Nick, do you want to just double check here? But I'm pretty sure.
Gotta throw it.
Do you know what, Nick? You've never done this before. How long have you been at carwow?
10 years.
Go for it, mate. That was beautiful. I've taught you well. Anyway, let's go on with the review. Let's roll down the rear seats. So you have to lean in to do it. Up. And then you have a reasonably continuous floor there, like that, so it's easy to slide stuff to the front. And you've got some other useful features like 12-volt sockets. You've got hooks to hang things off. You've got some tie-down points. But annoyingly, look at this bugbear of mine. Seatbelt snag, and then when you put this back up, like it's all going to go wrong, and that brings us to 5 annoying things about the Jaecoo 5. When operating the touchscreen when you're driving, it often helps to rest your elbow on there to steady your arm, you know, so it's not bouncing about all over the place. However, you can't do that when you've got something in this cup holder. Yeah, that doesn't work. You know, sometimes you just need to like manoeuvre your car quickly on the drive to maybe let someone out or whatever.
Actually, wait, Matt. Can we just can we get the car back a little bit, please?
Actually, this will illustrate the point. So you just jump into your car, right? You want to be quick. You're not going to put your seatbelt on, are you? You're going to move like a few meters. Well, with this car, if you don't put your seatbelt on, it won't release the parking brake. So this happens. Do you know what? Actually, if I do it going forward, it reminds me of when my dog had like slightly inflamed anal glands and it used to like run around the lounge on the carpet doing this kind of thing. See what I mean? The shiny plastic on the steering wheel is really annoying when you're driving past trees. You get this flickering effect and it's just slightly mesmerising. It's like that scene in the Jungle Book with the blooming snake, isn't it? Most cars are fitted with little air vents behind the bumper which have like these little plastic flaps over them, and when you shut the door it allows the air to vent through those plastic flaps. They just flip up like that and release the air pressure. Here's some working on an old BMW 3 Series that we smashed up. Now you get the idea. Now I'm not entirely sure whether this car is fitted with those vents because when you open and shut the door the boot moves. Watch this. So shut the door. It shouldn't do that. Now I'm used to the odd blank switches in cars, such as the ones that you have down here. They're not too much of a problem. I don't get this one though. So it's for the sunroof, right? That's for opening the blind. And then you think, oh well, that's for opening the roof itself once the blind's gone back, but then it doesn't have an open facility. So why do you have that button there? And then that's doubly annoying if you're obviously in a right-hand drive car because you might just reach up and go, oh no, it's there, I have to press it. Why not just make the whole switch that length? What's going on?
However, it's not all bad. Here are 5 cool things about the Jaecoo 5.
There really is no need to connect your phone to the car via a cable because not only have you got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as wireless, you have 50-watt wireless charging with a cooler for your phone. Put it down and let it do its thing. Look, fast wireless charging. Fast. Not only does this car have a pet mode, so you select that if you're going to leave your pet in the car and you can set the temperature. It also has a special cabin filter which when you leave that on it recirculates the air and it removes pet hair from the air. The driver monitoring system in most Chinese cars is a little bit too strict. You know, you just take your eyes off the road for a split second, maybe looking at the infotainment system, and it's like, bah, 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 warning, warning. Now, I found out that the reason it's so strict is that they design it for the Malaysian market, which is like the strictest regulation, so they design it to meet those standards. However, for this new Jaecoo 5, Jaecoo have like made it more European friendly, and apparently it won't trigger so much. But let's find out if that's true or not. You know what I mean, like checking my mirrors and checking what's going on the screen, having a look over there, maybe talking to camera and stuff like that. The attention assist would have kicked off. But look what I think, brilliant. And it is turned on. I promise you, look. Look, I can even find it on here. There, it's slid me off now. Finally, because I was looking at the screen for so long, it was like, come on, enough's enough, you idiots. Look at the road. You can change the volume of all the beeps and bongs and alarm tones in this car, including the indicator. So put that on. Is that loud enough for you? If not, get this alarm tone, move it up. Or if you just want it silent, have it silent. You can get the Jaecoo 5 with some Bluetooth microphones which will connect to the car's sound system because it has a karaoke mode. So you just start your music up and then get singing. Don't go breaking my heart,
I couldn't if I tried.
oh honey, if I get restless.
Baby, you're not that kind.
That is quite enough silly singing. Let's get back to something a bit more serious.
You can get the Jaecoo 5 with either a 1.6 litre turbocharged petrol engine with a 7-speed automatic gearbox. That car has 147 horsepower. So this is the electric version. It has a 61 kilowatt hour battery. It's good for a range apparently of 248 miles, but we'll find out the reality a little later on. And it has 204 horsepower. That's supposed to do 0 to 60 in 7.7 seconds. But what is the reality? That's like a whole second quicker. Wasn't expecting that. Well, I'm pleased. One of the main benefits of an electric car is, of course, the pickup from about 30 to 70. So that real world driving when you need to like overtake someone or join the motorway or something. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. That's pretty quick. You don't need to go any faster. Considering the real world performance, this car's price seems like even more of a bargain, though it does, depending on how you decide to pay for it. You see, on lease, it's not quite the steal as some of its competitors. I went through the latest leasing deals on carwow, and a 2-year lease for a top specification Jaecoo 5 in the luxury trim starts from £336 per month, but for around £70 less each month, you could get a fully kitted out Skoda Elroq Sportline with a similar battery capacity. And in my book, the Skoda is the better car. However, the lease prices on the Jaecoo could fall further, so make sure you go to carwow to check out the latest lease deals because these prices change all the time. You see, while this thing may look like a Range Rover, if you want a genuine Range Rover, you're going to have to go used. And I found this used Range Rover Evoque from 2021 with 30,000 miles on the clock on carwow for this much money. Sorry, I've got a cold. Now, if you're buying a used car, right, you should always do a car history check, and I recommend Car Vertical. So obviously the Range Rover that was on carwow, completely clean. Great. However, we found this other Range Rover not on carwow, I hasten to add, and it's got a bit of a dodgy history. You see, somebody has wound the mileage back. Yeah, it's like 40,000 miles it's been wound back, and you wouldn't know unless you did this Car Vertical history check on the car, and you'd definitely be walking away from that car, wouldn't you? So, if you're thinking about buying a used car, get a Car Vertical history check on it, and use the code CARWOW for 20% off. And if you want to do that right now and check a car with the code applied, just click on the pop-out banner appearing in the top right-hand corner of the screen, or scan the QR code, or follow the link in the description of this video. Thank me later. Now, one of the clear advantages of buying new rather than used is that the car has brand new brakes and brand new tyres. Speaking of which, the tyres on this car are actually pretty decent. So they're Continental, so not a budget tyre. But how well do they perform when it comes to braking? Let's find out by doing a brake test from 60 miles an hour. Now, a lot of people have a hangover from about 20 years ago about Chinese cars not being safe. So don't let yourself down, Jaecoo. I gave it all that I could, 33 metres. It makes me want to go, and I shouldn't do, because I'm middle-aged. Really good. Now, while it's clear that this car performs extremely well when it comes to an emergency braking situation, what's it like just for everyday driving? You see, one of the problems that I find with many electric cars, and Chinese ones in particular, is that the brake pedal can be a bit grabby and feel a bit odd. Now, you can actually configure quite a few of the settings relating to the braking on this car, and Jaecoo claim that they've improved the brake pedal feel compared to their J7, but have they? Well, they haven't got it quite right yet, because when you first press the brake pedal, there's like an initial like bite, and then if you press it a bit harder, then the braking actually tails off. Before you pressing it a bit more, then it's like the friction brakes suddenly engage, and then it like suddenly brakes heavy again. I'm probably over explaining this, but ultimately the brakes don't feel that natural. You have to kind of think about slowing down smoothly. Now, you can try the different options that it has. So I'm going to do it. Then we go brakes, brake pitch, brake sensation links to driving mode. So let's move that from mid. It's a bit better than having it in sport mode. Sport is more grabby, and then there's this brake pitch control. Does it work? Maybe, I don't know. Could just be placebo. I like having options to mess with, but I think there's still some room for improvement on the braking. Another problem that I've experienced with quite a few Chinese cars is the steering feel and the throttle pedal response. They can just feel a little bit odd as well. Apparently Jaecoo's also improved those features for this car, so let's see if they've done that properly. The throttle pedal feels natural. You get the kind of amount of shove you expect for how you press the pedal depending on which mode you're in. So if you're in eco, it's steady. If you're in normal, it's normal. And if you're in sport, it responds nicely. And it just picks up speed as you'd expect. The steering, yeah, it puts the car where you expect it to. However, it's got a really odd feeling. Regardless of which mode you're in, it's too light, even in sports mode, and there is no feel at all. So if you turn the wheel that much, you get the same amount of weight as if you turn it that much, which is wrong. So it's like totally numb until you go around a corner and you hit a bump there, a little bit of a clunk. I don't know if you noticed it, but there's a little shake of the steering wheel. It's a little bit like when you go to the dentist and they give you the injection, your mouth goes all numb, but they haven't quite hit the spot. And so when they start drilling a bit deeper down, you feel that drill. It's like, oh, why am I suddenly feeling stuff now? And it's the wrong kind of feeling. I don't want to feel this stuff. So yeah, the steering is not perfect. Will most people care? Probably not. Just motoring journalists who need to chat about cars. In order to help make this car as easy to drive as possible, Jaecoo's fitted even the base version with surround view cameras to help with navigating the car around town. So this car likes to open and close at random. So wait, what's going on? Have you got the key, Nick? Is it you, Lewis? Makes no sense. Okay, anyway. Right, here's me driving it in town for a bit. Before we get into that, let's just talk about the basics. You sit up higher than in like a standard hatchback, but obviously not as high as a Range Rover, which is what this is trying to emulate. But overall, view forward's really good. You can judge the corners of the car. Blind spots aren't too big from this thick pillar. You've got big door mirrors, good view out the back window. That's all absolutely fantastic. And so too is this, look. I indicate, and I get this little kind of blind spot warning there so I can see in the corners, but I want to show you something else as well. This car feels quite manoeuvrable. Now I can just press that and I get full surround view. In fact, I'm going to change that to that mode. No, not the side. I don't want the side there. What are you doing? What are we doing, Watson? We've cocked this up, haven't we? We've cocked this up. Oh no, that's perfect. I'll be amazed if I can make it round here because of where that blooming Range Rover. Oh look, snap, they look the same as parked, but this is just ruining my demonstration. Generally, the turning circle is pretty blooming good. Let's go do it elsewhere. I'm going to flummox this lady. Watch this. I'm going to completely like mess with her head. It's like, what's he doing? What's he going to do? Look, see? Look, I'll just drive round you, my dear. Look, here we go. Look, see? Oh no, I don't. I want to hit that. Will I make it round? Look, that says I will. Let's go to that. No, don't want to get me fake. Wait. See, that's helpful. I suppose I've got to learn where all the features are just to be able to operate it properly, but it's very handy. I'm determined to make this. I just won't give up. I won't give up. Look, look, come on, come on. Come, no, I ain't gonna make it. Bollocks. Lewis, I want you to get out and talk me through. If I can make that, I'm gonna be so happy. The camera says no, but it might be being a little bit pessimistic. No freaking way. Oh, now I think with this top-down view, it's saying no, it's saying no. Damn it! I hate you, Range Rover.
I wanted it to happen, but...
I know. We all wanted it to happen. Did I just need an extra inch?
Yeah, you always need an extra.
You could always do with an extra inch. To try and make this car as comfortable as possible, Jaecoo's fitted the 5 with independent rear suspension. And okay, right, wasn't expecting that. It's got the hands-free boot opening, hasn't it? Honestly, this car has a mind of its own. It's like locks and locks, locks and locks. Now, if I recall correctly, this is how you open the boot. Stand like that, it should flash. It's not going to do it now, is it? It's not going to, no, it's not, of course it's not going to do it. It's going to do it when I'm knelt down there. So let's lock it, walk away, walk near it and just stand here. And it should flash its indicators. And there we go, and then I'll step away into this zone and it should open. Open! Yeah, there we go. Right, shall we continue with what I was trying to say? That is independent rear suspension. On quite a few cars, usually from Germany, on cheaper models, they just have an old-fashioned torsion beam, which means that the rear wheels are actually attached, and that does affect their comfort. For this car, it appears that Jaecoo has really worked hard to give this car the best balance of ride and handling. Have they succeeded though? Shall we find out whether it's comfy and drives well? Or is that impossible? I often find EVs to be a little bit bumpy, so they tend to jiggle about a touch on the suspension, and this one is not really any different. It's not terrible, but it's there. And sometimes at lower speeds you hit a bump and you get like a clonk through the body of the car. Once again, it's not terrible, but you do notice it. What is surprising with this car though is it stays really flat through the bends, and it can go through corners quite quickly, a lot quicker than you think a car like this should be able to. So here we go, going around a corner, look, it's gripping and going round. There's a clonking in the steering wheel. Did you notice that I was talking about earlier? Really, really evident then. But once again, here's a turn. I'm going to chuck it in and it'll just sort of go round. Look at that. But there is a slight problem. This car doesn't actually feel fun. Part of the reason is that it's front wheel drive, and so you get to this situation where you're going along the road, you think, well, this is pretty good, and then you want to accelerate out of a turn. I'm going to show you what happens now. So here's a tight turn, we're going up a hill there, so the weight will be on the back of the car, and if I turn and then put my foot down, you hear that? Like, I'll do it this way as well. I didn't do it then, but it sometimes just spins up its tyres because it's front wheel drive, because it loses traction and then it reduces the power and it stops you from like driving at the speed you quite want to. It's particularly bad as well when you're accelerating from a standstill from a junction. I think that something like a MG4, which is rear wheel drive, just puts its power down better, it flows down the road nicer, and if you want an EV that's affordable but also genuinely good fun to drive, that's where you should look. It's absolutely fine, and people who buy this car will be more than happy with how it goes around the bends. It's just not for people who are really into cars. What you don't get on an MG4 though is insulated glass, which is designed to reduce noise entering the cabin. So, has it worked? Does it make this car nice and quiet to drive? I'll tell you what, it does work because there's hardly any wind noise at all. However, that's allowing me to focus on the other noise, which is road noise. Seems to be quite a lot of it, just like echoing in the car. It's not terrible. I could still, you know, happily drive long distances in this car, well, as long as it'll allow me to, because obviously it's an electric car, there's only a finite amount of range, and it's supposed to do 248 miles on a full charge this car. I'm averaging 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour, so that equates to, when I multiply it out by the battery of 61 kilowatt hours, 214 miles on a full charge. Now, I have been giving it a little bit of welly, and I reckon if you're really careful you could probably eke out about 230 or maybe a bit more. So range is okay. The rest of the car, just for cruising about, seats are reasonably comfortable, although the seat base does feel a little bit on the firm side, so you're probably going to want to do a few stops on longer journeys just to like take the pressure off your buttocks. But then of course you can just top up with charge, right? It all kind of works out. Now, if you want to find out what is my favourite version of the Jaecoo 5, petrol, electric and which trim level, then I've actually configured my ideal car. If you want to find out what it is, click on the pop-out banner appearing in the top right hand corner of the screen, or scan the QR code on screen now. There's also a link in the description of this video. Anyway, that brings me on to my final verdict on this car. Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist the Jaecoo 5. It really is a great value for money car, especially in this EV trim.
There at the first sight, I never believed. When I saw you for the first time, I changed my mind. Your eyes and your smile are a fantasy. I need